Of course, YouTube's gonna be stupid. Come on, YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, Itzley? Just got my new router. Figured I'd open it up live for everybody. Obviously, I'm outside, so I'm not gonna be immediately like powering it up, but we can at least look at the glory that is the top of the line ASUS router. Figure I'd give it a few minutes to see if who all comes in. The only thing I've done so far is take the shrink wrap off. Good morning, good morning. I was gonna wait for a while and buy this thing once I got to the Philippines, and I looked to see what the import fee would be, the import tax, and it was a lot. So I decided I would go ahead and get it and use it for a few weeks. So that makes it used. So I'm not taking it in the box, trying to skirt import fees. I wanted to get this anyway, and I'll be using it here in the US first. This will give me a chance to get it all set up and get all the firmware updates and everything done. Still only 3 people in here. We'll see if any more people pop in. Six people. I'm gonna do the unboxing here pretty shortly. Like I said before, I'm outside, so I'm not gonna go into powering it up and testing it out here, but well, I suppose I could power it up out here, but I'm not really gonna be in a position to test. And I usually hardline it from my modem, or in my case, my Starlink router, so I can't hook that up out here, but I can at least show you guys what this monster looks like. Get stuff out of the way, more or less. You can see that I'm not just clickbaiting. Oh. Should take the arms off my tripod so that they're not in the way. A little bit wonky on the angle there. But of course, that's how that stuff goes. I can chop this up later and use it for an actual video. It's not really a review, it's merely an unboxing. Get some more of my junk out of the way here. And we got a whole whopping 4 people. That's all right. So I got my ROG, ASUS ROG Rapture GT BE98 Pro Wi-Fi 7 gaming router. Just gonna do a quick unboxing. Right now, this is basically top of the line router that's not like for business and stuff. See if I can get this aimed properly. Oh, Gucci. Stop if you're having trouble, call this number. Setup instructions. Look at that baby. I do have the previous top router from them, which is the ASUS ROG Rapture AX 16000, I think it is. Go ahead and set the box off to the side. Stuff does have 8 antennas. And some people will angle the antennas differently. Some people will opt to mount the router up on a wall. This will give you pretty much all the bandwidth you could possibly want, and it's got a ton of wired options. It's also got the capability of hooking in I think I can tether a phone to it. I gotta read the documentation on it, so it might take like a cellular modem to hook into Wi-Fi or 4G, but I'm pretty sure I can tether it to my phone. Hey Scott Mason. Night Range, hello. So I'm showing off my brand new router that just arrived. I just pulled it out of the box. This thing is top of the line gaming router, Wi-Fi 7. Of course, the plastic wants to come off the antennas in about 1,000 pieces. Go away, dog. Go away. Go away. Even if you're not a gamer, a router like this would cover a huge house. And it's going to be backward compatible with all your existing Wi-Fi devices. This is basically a crazy level of future-proofing. The S23 Ultra technically has the modem chip inside of it that can do Wi-Fi 7, but for sales of the S24 Ultra, most people assume they're going to just not actually unlock that capability, even though it's technically got the hardware built into it to be able to do it. Yeah, I love taking these kind of things off. So it's super easy. Probably not going to take the clear protector off the faceplate until I actually get to the Philippines, but we'll see. Now I actually could hook this up out here, but as a mesh node, but I would want this as the actual main router, not a mesh node. What am I doing? I am unboxing my new ASUS gaming router. Just arrived this morning from Amazon. Wi-Fi 7, so it's got 2.4 gigahertz. I think 2 5 gigahertz channels, 2 6 gigahertz channels. Handy dandy power brick. Very curious. Interestingly, the cat cable that it comes with is only a Cat 6, and they have up to Cat 8. Thanks, Frog. I appreciate it. So I don't know why they didn't actually send a Category 8 cable with it. Cat 8 can do higher speeds, but it can also it's also weatherized. It's even heavier duty than this. And it can do power over Ethernet. It's basically as rugged as coax cable, and Cat 8 is what the Starlink antennas use between the dish, the transceiver unit, and the router. The other half of the power brick. Got my ASUS VIP member warranty notice. Quick start guide. I think that is that's a quick start guide for other languages. Don't really need that. I think that's all of the goodies. So I can put that in there. Just leave it sit. And for those that weren't here, here's the box that it came in. Republic of Gaming is what ROG stands for. All right, Frog, take it easy. I'll put this thing back in here just so I can show off what it looked like before I opened anything up. If I can actually get it back into this sleeve. Probably fat chance. I'll try it this other way. There we go. That's what the box looked like prior to taking it out. And it's got a couple different identifiers on it. It's the ROG Rapture GT BE98 Pro, also known as the BT 30,000 quad band gaming router. So it's got a 10 gigahertz LAN, wired LAN cable. It's got two 2.4 or 2.5 gigahertz wired ports. So it's got four 2.5G LAN ports. I think two of them you can bind. It's got, that's the WAN, okay. WAN and LAN 1. Definitely have to look at the information on that. It's got another 1G, 1 gigahertz LAN connection. Gigabit, my bad. And another 10G. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting out here. And then it's got a USB 3.0 and 2.0. Somewhere. It must be one of the, yeah, it's probably the USB 2 or 3 port. I believe I can tether it to a 4G or 5G modem, or maybe even my phone. So I'm pretty excited to get this bad boy set up and going here in a little bit. I usually do mine horizontal, but I know a lot of people will do them like so. These also have mesh capability for other ASUS routers. I'm going to end up meshing it with my AX 16000 router. The best case for that would actually be to get two of these, but this thing is running almost 780 bucks. Hey Mark, how you doing? Crazy gaming router I've got here. And that red part, it's hard to tell, but it's got extra cooling in there, and that's a heat sink inside. It does have a 2 centimeter base on it to keep it up for airflow. I almost wish it didn't have that, because I actually got two cooling pads for up to an 18-inch laptops, and I don't have a laptop yet, so really the main reason I got it was to help cool this router and my existing router when I get to the Philippines. Since it's so much hotter over there, I can keep a good amount of airflow going so that my routers don't overheat in the Philippines. But this thing would probably cover like a 3,500 square foot home without even any other mesh nodes. Pretty Gucci. It's already pretty hot here. It's 80 degrees outside, which for the Seattle area is hot. Very hot. I'm waiting for Chip to get up so we can go to Jollibee. It's my plan for today, is to go to Jollibee and film my taste test of US Jollibee, since next weekend will be my last weekend here, but I'm sure I'll be busy with stuff, and I think that may end up being when my dad comes up to grab the Grand Cherokee that's dead here and drag it down to Oregon. So it does have, let's see, so I'm not screwing it up. It's got tons and tons of radios. I want to say it has one or two 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is the oldest style of Wi-Fi, going all the back to B. It's got A, G, B, and N, and then it's got AC, AX, 2.4, AX 2.5 or 5 gigahertz, AX 6 gigahertz, 2 channels, and then it's got a BE, which is Wi-Fi 7, 2.4, 5 gigahertz, and two 6 gigahertz 802.11 BE channels. And the speeds of those is just ridiculous. It's got a 2.6 gigahertz quad core CPU, two 10 gigahertz gaming ports, which supposedly it may be done by now, but they were saying they were working on firmware so that you could actually, I think, aggregate those two 10 gigabit connections into 20 gigabit subscription-free network protection from Trend Micro, and then the AI mesh capability for other ASUS routers. Yeah, I think I did mention it. You want it hot better. Well, yeah, I want it hot, and I'm fine with the heat. I'm already getting used to it. I'm getting a little chilly much sooner than I would be usually. I don't know. I've mentioned it a few times, but I ordered it just the other day. I was going to wait on it, but for grins, I put it into the Amazon cart to see how much they would charge me for import fee if I had it shipped to the Philippines, because I was originally going to wait, and the import fee was going to be almost $180. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and get it. I'll hook it up here after a while and get it configured up. I'll probably even set up the other one into mesh mode so I can see how easy or not easy that is. But this thing is about as future-proofed as I can get for. There may be other companies that have a little bit newer routers. This one did come out in like November or December of last year, but it is the top of the line ASUS ROG Republic of Gaming Rapture gaming router, Wi-Fi 7. Got a lot of really nice features on it, and I probably don't even need to take the other one with me. Kind of the idea was if we had a big lot and a covered area outside, then I would probably, well, I could either wireless mesh it, or I could run a hard line out to it and then have the other router outside but covered to have real good Wi-Fi outside as well. I'm not really worried about configuration difference. The wireless configurations are going to be fine, and they would have let me ship it straight into the Philippines. The biggest thing might be the power, but like I said, I've already bought two step-down transformers or step-down power converters from 220 to 115, and I thought about getting more of them, but I figured I would start off with two since the room we're going to be in is relatively small. But I'll order more of those as I need them. But they're 300 or 350 watt step-down power converters, and I already have them. They'll be packed with me, and I've got two gallium nitride travel adapters that will adapt to outlets for just about, I don't know, like 180 countries. I am a tech head, so I've got plenty of power adapters for all of our goodies. This router will be nice. If I don't end up keeping the other one that I'm taking that I was thinking of meshing, because this one realistically would probably more than adequately cover inside and out, depending on building materials, a house, an entire lot in the Philippines for what we would probably get. I think it would be nice to have the other one outside, and I covered, kind of, it would have airflow, but it would basically be rain and drip proof outside to give more wireless coverage. But what I might do is beg the owner of the place that we're staying to let me plug this bad boy into his, or maybe even the other one, directly into his modem. And because I'm guessing part of the reason that Chi is having such a hard time with the Wi-Fi is he may have a very fast internet connection, but he's either using an old router that has a hard time handling so many people connecting to it at once, or it could be wireless hardware that's built into the internet provider modem. So what I might do, if we're going to be there for a few months and he'll let me plug my router into it, let him test it to see if it improves the coverage for the restaurant and the other rooms. And if it does, then be like, all right, well, a brand new one is this much money plus an import fee. So see if he would let me utilize it so we'd have better speeds and maybe give us a little bit of a discount on the room for a couple months. And then just basically give him the other router, because right now the internet signal is pretty dismal, and I think he may need to increase the subscription he has for his internet provider, but I'm guessing it's probably a slow router, whether that's a modem router combo or his own router that he has. So I'm not worried about it being different countries. I don't think that's going to be a problem. And like I said, they were going to let me ship it in, so regulatory wise, I wasn't running into anything that would have prevented me from having it in the Philippines. The biggest thing would be the power, but I've already got converters to account for that. Let's see here. But I'm real excited about this. I've been looking at it for a while. Like I said, I was going to wait. However, with the amount of the import fee, I decided that waiting was not going to be in my favor after all. So I just bit the bullet. And why isn't this? Just stay there. There we go. There's my power brick, and let's see what it says. Input 100 to 240 volts. So I don't even need a step down for this. This will work plugged directly in with, the only thing I'll need is an adapter for the outlet. And most of them don't have a third pin for the ground, but power wise, it can take the 220 that the Philippines runs. So I don't even need a power converter for it. So I'm going to run this inside real quick and I will be right back. Probably take me 2 trips. just for funsies, I guess I could take you guys in and show you my house is a mess, and it's dark where my other router is, but I could take you in and show you the craziness that is my other router while I take this box in. So I'll do that real quick. This one has less lighting, which a lot of people didn't like the lighting on the other one. I personally like it, but this one has less, so it's more agreeable to some other people. So that's my previous router, and that's sitting on a nice cooling pad for a 18-inch laptop. And another thing that's nice about it is that underneath there is a cooling plate. Now the new router has a 2 centimeter spacer on it, so the new router can't actually utilize the cooling pad, but that's got 6 fans on it, so that'll keep that nice and cool. So that'll be the secondary router, and then the one that I just got will be the primary router. Ooh, it sounds like Chip may be up. We may be able to go to Jollibee pretty soon. It's about an hour trip. Once I know he's up, then I'll go shower and get ready, and we'll go. Thought about just filming it, and I still might, but at the same time, I might even go live down there to do the Jollibee taste test. US Jollibee. Of course, that's going to be on that side and not where I want it. Excuse my face being right in the middle here. So these routers are overkill for most people, but then again, basically anybody would have performance improvement with a router like that. So keep this over here. I do find it interesting that the network cable they sent me in the box, or that's included in the box of the new router, is only category 6. It's not, it looks like it's probably a 4 to 6 foot cable, and it would be pennies for them to include a category 8 cable. And for a router that when it first came out was like $1,200 or $1,300, that's now still just a little under $800. I feel like they should have included a category 8 cable with it. But it looks like Cat 8, but when you actually read it, it is category 6, which is still very good. It's still very fast, but I mean, if you're going to pay a premium for this kind of router, the least they could have done was given me a 4 or 6 foot category 8 cable. If you look at the cost of network cables on Amazon, if you buy them out in town, they're ridiculous. If you buy on Amazon, you can buy really nice cables, even a Cat 8 cable, like 100-foot one, for $40 to $60. And sometimes people get the little attachment cables with their internet provider modems and things, and they'll just be Cat 5. And Cat 5, just going from a Cat 5 to a Cat 5 Echo will change your effective internet speed because of the speed of that wireless cable dramatically. So why they save a few pennies for such low-end cables. A buddy of mine, he had upgraded his home internet to like 50 gig. This was, I think, 12 years ago. So I started having him run through things, and I was like, okay, let's go to the cable level. And I had him look, and the cable that was going from his modem to his router was only Cat 5, and that Cat 5 cable wasn't rated even for 50 gigabit. So he even had another cable there, and he swapped it out, and it like tripled his internet speed because the little tiny cable between his modem and his router was actually the slow point. So that's the exciting unboxing. Not terribly professional, but I can chop it up into a little video later. I'll be one of those people that just does an unboxing and doesn't have testing, but I'm not really a professional testing guy, so any testing I would do would just get chewed up anyway. So I'll just go with my unboxing, but I am familiar with the capabilities that it has, and that router is going to be amazing for probably the next like 6 years. Wi-Fi 7 was a big jump. They also, I don't remember if it was an expected increase or not, but the old width of the spectrum for a channel used to be, math is hard, 160 megahertz, and now there's 320 megahertz bands. So it basically, you think that that's just double, but it's a lot more data that can travel on those connections per packet of information that's sent by the router. And then each of those crazy antennas on it, each has its own sub antenna with a power amplifier on it. There he is. You live? How you sleep?
Good morning.
It is morning. How are you?
Solid. Alan.
You up for an excursion?
What?
You up for an excursion a bit? I was thinking we'd go to Jollibee today.
What's that?
That's the Philippines fast food that I was telling you about. Down in Tacoma. If you're up for it. If you don't want to go, I'll go. But I need to do a taste test of the US version before I go to the Philippines so I can compare it with the Philippines Jollibee, because that's where it came from. You can have wired routers. Okay. Yeah, I still got to shower and stuff, and I don't know if you want to shower first, but after a while I'd like to head down.
I'll go with you.
Okay. So I got to shower and stuff first. I don't know if you want to shower first as well.
Is this a decent meal place or
fast
food?
It's fast food. But it's Philippines fast food, so I want to compare US to the Philippines version. You can have wireless routers and you can have fixed hard lines. In fact, he's not hungover. He didn't drink much. He had maybe a glass and a half of wine. So routers are wireless or wired, That one's actually got like 6 or 7 ports on it for hardline connections. And I can either wirelessly, he's not hungover. He's just woke up, so. I can either hardline between the 2 routers, which is really the best option, or I can put them in wireless mesh mode, but then it takes up one of the 6 gigahertz channels as the backhaul communication line between the 2 routers. Hey Meow, doing pretty well, thanks. Combo. I'll tell you, with Wi-Fi 7, I mean, wired is always the better option, but if you've got a good router, then wireless can be a lot faster. And with Wi-Fi 7, especially since they widened the bandwidth from 160 megahertz to 320 megahertz, so you can send more on each packet or pulse. It's really sped it up, and now you're actually getting like basically gigabit speeds on wireless, which 10 years ago would have been unheard of. You were still in the megabit speed range, really. To adjust this. There we go. But the better your wireless router is, the more devices it can handle before it gets bogged down, and the more data flow it can handle at once, because it's got more radios, better radios, more channels. And it's a quad band, so it's got, I don't even think quad's really correct. It's got it's got 2 5 gigahertz channels. Not just channels, but I mean basically 2 sets of 5 gigahertz radios, 2 sets of 6 gigahertz radios, and then it's got the older 2.4 to work with all the older, slower wireless radios. And most home smart devices for power savings are running on 2.4 gigahertz. That also means they're more compatible with more people, because a lot of people have never upgraded their routers, and they may be still running a G or an N router. Right, but what I would like to do is, even if I'm in a place long term, I'm going to have a combination of wired and wireless. But what I'm going to use the other router that I showed you guys, that's the one that's powered up right now, and see if the owner of the place we're at will let me either swap out my router for his, or let me plug in and have better connection for us. Hey Shekel, thanks for coming in, buddy. So I always run a combination of wired and wireless. Most of my house is wireless, but my Xbox Series X is a hardline Cat 8 cable, just because it takes away latency and keeps it as fast as it can possibly go. Also, I think the Series X only goes up to maybe Wi-Fi 6. See if Chi wakes up pretty soon, but I'm going to have to cut this pretty shortly so I can go shower and get ready, because Chip and I are going to drive down to Tacoma Mall and try US Jollibee here in a little bit. I've got to get that done because I'm basically out of time. And then I can do a comparison with Philippines Jollibee when I get to Dumaguete in a few weeks. Well, that's good to go. What's my time on that? 8 minutes, so leave that running. Chip had to run to the mini mart to grab a pack of smokes. So a better wireless router just makes everything better. And then, you know, when we are in a place longer term, if we want to be hanging outside, we'll be on our phones, and so your phones are basically always going to be wireless. So the better your router is, the better your internet connection to your router, to your provider is going to be. And so my old Note 8 will be on like 5 gigahertz. My S23 will be on 5 gigahertz, and then we'll be running our S24 Ultras off the 6 gigahertz channels. And the S24s are actually rated for Wi-Fi 7. Now, what I think is a benefit that I think the phones are not going to have, that you'd have a benefit with a wireless card for like a desktop or a laptop, is Wi-Fi 7 is capable of multi-channel connection, so it can basically connect to 2 sets of Wi-Fi radios at once. So it can like talk on one and receive on the other to speed it up even more. So it's not basically waiting for data to go back and forth. It can be constantly talking on one lane and constantly talking on the other lane. Thanks, Scott, if you're on your way out. Appreciate you dropping by. I'm guessing that the Wi-Fi 7 in the phones is probably a single point connection, which is what I would expect, and it'll be more than fast. Let's see, 50 meters, like 100-foot range. Really, it depends on the number of walls splitting up your house, what the construction material of the walls is. If you're on a single story or a 2-story. And if you're on a 2-story, this one would probably cover 2 stories just fine, but I would probably hardline between the 2 routers. So one, instead of it being a mesh where they're talking wirelessly between the 2 routers, I would hardline between them, and that really effectively makes the other router not part of the mesh, but another access point. Oh, there's Mike D. Do I want money? I look homeless again. Looks like you're back again for another round of your band, doofus. Have a wonderful day. I think estimations for the brand new router I got. Yeah, there was somebody in here like yesterday that said that. And I think it was also Mike D. I think what happened, I think Squid was in here. Either he or Scott. I hit him and then they put him in a timeout. So I think it put him on a 1-day timeout instead of hiding him, because we tried to do it at the same time. So either that's another account or he's back from his 1-day ban, but I put him on a permanent ban now. Austin Nguyen, hey, it's good to see you again. To be honest, it was probably the same account that had a 1-day ban because of the snafu, but that's fine. I don't know why I supposedly look homeless. I'm cleanly trimmed, wearing nice clothes, whatever. Supply. Doop, doop, doop. Uh-oh. I'll have to watch that video later. Gio in the Philippines just put up a video. I can't believe my money was stolen on my birthday. Oof. Interested to hear what that has to say. So if you guys back it up, I did unbox my new ASUS router. I wouldn't be surprised in the next month or two, but I'll already be gone, that they'll come out with an updated Wi-Fi 7 ROG router from ASUS. But after seeing what the import fee was of $180, if I shipped it to Chi, to our place that we're renting in the Philippines, it would have been an additional 180 bucks. 175 and change. I rounded up to 180. So I just went ahead and bought it here. I'll hook it up and run it, and I'll just pack I'll pack both of the routers in my suitcases, and I will have used them, so they're technically used. So stuff that's used and not in boxes, they can't technically charge you an import fee on. Which reminds me, I probably need to temporarily throw I have powered up the phone I got for Chi, but I'll throw one of my accounts on it, just so if they make me power it up, I can show that it's like signed into and stuff, and then I'll just factory reset it when I hand it to her. But she's running on a phone that's 5 years old, so the radios in her phone aren't nearly as good, the cameras aren't nearly as good, so she's about to have a top-of-the-line Samsung Galaxy S24 when I arrive, along with the brand new earbuds. And yeah, she's gonna be Gucci'd out. If things work out great. If they don't, then it's still worth it, because it'll still help her channel. And you know, even if things didn't work out, I would still want success for her in the future. So, but I think she and I are going to be amazing together. See if she's woke up yet. She woke up a couple hours ago to go use the CR. Then went back to bed, but she'll probably be getting up pretty soon. Buy any electronics in your home country, because it's going to be cheaper. Electronics are more expensive in general, and then you're also going to run into an import fee. So it made more sense for me to buy basically all the electronics I needed, or that I wanted to get for Chi, here, than to buy it there. So let's see, the router was about $780, and it was going to be a $180 import fee. So if I had waited to buy her a new phone in the Philippines, the phone price would have been higher. And since, let's see, that's another like $450. It probably would have been like a $250 or $300 import fee in addition. But like this one, I bought from the Samsung store. No, wait, I bought it from Amazon. Sorry, because Samsung store wanted to charge me almost $1,750, almost $1,800 for this phone. But I got it on Amazon. It's an S24 Ultra, 512 gig built in. The only way to get the 1 terabyte is directly from the Samsung store. Unlocked from the factory with no service. So I'm already using it because I'm using it on Wi-Fi. On Amazon, this is the newest Samsung, and I got one for me and one for her. And you can get them on Amazon right now for about $1,200. So they've come down in price, and they dropped the price again about 3 weeks after I bought these, because they had the Samsung Unpacked event and they announced their new flip phones. So the S24 series phones, including the Ultras, dropped again in price. Oh, but you're saying in Australia, but still it'll be down from what it was. But this has no service. This is ready to go, unlocked. My S23 is locked because I still am paying on it, even though it's not a contract. I'm to get my discount from my trade-in. The tricky wording on it was they give you, I got $1,000 trade-in credit. However, they break that trade-in credit as bill discounts over a 3-year period. So while you're not on a contract, if you decide to leave, like if I paid off the phone so that I could go to a different company or get the phone unlocked so that I could use an international SIM card or a Philippine SIM card, then I would forfeit the rest of the discount. And I still have like over $700 in discounts coming for the phone. This is Washington State, somewhat near Seattle, Rorumbo. I believe we are connected. We are, so I will give you moderator. Rorumbo, feel free to drop a link and I'll pin you. Yeah, and I could do a prepaid on this, but I don't want to deal with it. But I can't go to prepaid on my US number without paying off the phone and forfeiting over $700 in future discounts. So for at least the next few years, I'm going to leave my S23 Ultra on a Verizon plan so I can get the rest of my discounts. And then after that, I'll either leave it as it is, or I could get it unlocked at that point and put it on something like Mint Mobile prepaid. But Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile just got hit with billions of dollars of fines from the US FCC, Federal Communication Commission, because of their confusing wording practices on their trade-in stuff. So they'll probably stop doing that in the future. Now that means they may decide to give less of a trade-in amount, but I think they would get another round of fines imposed on them if they do that. But my initial thought was, well, I'll just pay off my S23 Ultra, get it unlocked, and then get an eSIM for the Philippines and just do dual SIM, one being a hardware physical SIM and one being an eSIM, and swap back and forth between the service for my Philippines number and my US number on one phone. But once I started live streaming, I discovered that if I want to type in the chat, I need this other phone, and so that I could get a Philippines number, the best just to have separate phones. So it also gives me a backup. And then I have my Galaxy Note 9, which I can play my game on, but I can also use, I've got YouTube Premium, so the music that I play a lot of times I've downloaded, so whenever I'm playing it, I'm not actually streaming it again. And it just does a quick check like once a day to YouTube to make sure I still have an active YouTube Premium subscription, which is one of the things that you can do, is download videos and music to the phone so that you can watch it later without having to stream it again if you're playing it multiple times or if you're off connection for a day. So I've got my streaming phone, I've got my S24 for the Philippines. Now I may swap. The S24 will probably become the streaming phone, since it'll be the one that has the data connection when I'm in the Philippines, and sometimes we'll be live streaming from out and about. So I'll just swap between the S23 and the S24 and just use the Note 9 as my phone to play music. I've got to try and find a way to see if I can play music by streaming on Twitch or something, because I was having so much fun listening to music last night. I haven't been doing that in a while. But if I play it on YouTube, then I get copyright strikes. I do have an account with Slipstream, but I don't know if that allows me to play the music through Slipstream while live streaming, or if it only applies for making videos. So I'm going to figure that out, because I'm paying quite a bit for a yearly subscription from them. So I'm hoping that if I play music through Slipstream on my connected KuyaStorm YouTube channel, then I can avoid getting copyright strikes. Now I would still get flagged, but it would not be a copyright strike. It would just be a copyright flag, because it would say copyright material detected, owner allows use on YouTube. Yeah, he's excited because Chip's back, so. Just push stuff out of the way. Chip looks grumpy. Yeah, fine print, a lot of that stuff I'm just figuring out. Where's that? That's Yakima. I don't care. Ash, get down. Ash is trying to jump, so he's in trouble. Just get down. Knock it off. Go. Can't always reason with a puppy. No, go. You all right? Stay down, stupid. Go. I need to move where that is tied into the ground so he can't get quite so close. You hungry?
Maybe after a dump of load.
All right. I'm gonna go shower and stuff. Time here now is 14:46. That's 2:46 p.m. for you non-military types. Saturday afternoon, so I better Google and see what time Jollibee's open until. That's great. It says it's open. How about more information? Closes 9 p.m. Sweet. All right, Mark, take it easy. I'm gonna end the stream, go inside, shower, and get ready so we can head off to Jollibee when Chip's ready to go. Appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. Haven't decided yet if I'm gonna just record Jollibee or live stream it. It'll probably depend on if I can get a decent connection inside. So take it easy. Hi, Nicole.